Good morning, everyone. It is such a treat and bucket list item to be here on stage today. I'm a huge AWE fan. I've been to the conference in the States for the last 5 years, so it's amazing. So thank you to Sonia and Cole and the AWE team for the opportunity to be here today. So I just realized I don't have a clicker. Give me a second. Pause. Awesome. So just a very quick introduction to, I guess, where I'm coming from. So I've got 25 years experience in digital marketing, if you can judge by my gray hair. And about 11 years ago, I was introduced to augmented reality, and it's been love at first sight. I'm also a proud partner for Zappar. You can visit their booth in the expo. They're here today. And like I mentioned, huge AWE fan. The biggest part of my experience, really, that I'm very proud of is the work that I've done with Google South Africa in the last 3 years, and where I kind of like work with their tier 1 clients to introduce the concept of digital marketing transformation and design strategies for brands to know where they are at in their digital maturity and build roadmaps on how to increase their digital maturity. And today I would like to kind of share how we can apply that to XR marketing. So if I have to kind of like summarize what I do, I enable brands and agencies to add XR to their marketing mix. I'd like to go into 3 sections today. I'm going to provide a bit of context around immersive marketing. I'm going to share with you the strategy I've been using for the last 3 years with Google, and then a few examples of South African brands activating their XR strategy successfully. Cool, so let's get started with context. So if I were to pose the question to you, like if you to imagine what the future of retail marketing means to you, right? So to me, it means that a brand not only like sells a product to me, they are intuitive to what I want and desire, when I want to desire it, and how I want to have that product. I'm able to engage and interact with the product and the brand in a meaningful way. I'm able to have a personalized experience whilst they respect my privacy. I'm also able to have a shorter path to purchase, right? So that I'm able to kind of not go through the old ways of, like jumping through hoops and payment gateways, etc. So to me, that is the future of marketing. But we have to look beyond traditional advertising methods, right? Why? Because traditional advertising struggles to deliver meaningful and targeted interactions. It's got a huge challenge in measurement, right? So it is very challenging to connect the investment you're making in advertising to the actual business results, right? So sales and revenue. And this kind of brings the rise of immersive marketing. So it's really a new era of customer engagement, of where today's consumer simply wants more from brands. They want to have a better customer engagement. So therefore, like XR and immersive tech is redefining the modern marketing mix and very much becoming expected part of the buyer journey. And with brands already using immersive marketing in the augmented reality ads, AR-enabled websites. They're bringing AR into their loyalty programs and essentially look at ways to enable the entire customer journey with XR. Coming back to the measurement side of things, is that article upon article and research upon research, it shows that immersive marketing is outperforming traditional advertising metrics. And I'll show you some case studies now as well. And in kind of summary, I would say that return on investment loves extended reality. So I want to do a special focus on retail media today, of where retail media is a form of advertising, of where a brand can promote their product in a retailer space, whether it is in-store or online. Now, Group M did a forecast study a few months ago to show that retail media is one of the fastest growing segments in advertising, with a projected growth about 17.5% by the end of this year, and that is trailing ahead of the growth predicted for search and social channels. So it's definitely a sector for marketers not to ignore. Now, why? Because retailers sit on a vast amount of data, right? So they're able to capitalize on their data sets with targeted advertising, and then very much shortening that path to purchase I was talking about. So they're able to engage closer to the point of sale with the consumer. And talking about the measurement, right, they kind of have closed loop attribution of where they could link the performance and the investment of the advertising to the actual sales and revenue. Also, retail media offers a wonderful opportunity for integrated strategies, right? So omni-channel media opportunities. So think about it, you go to a store, you're in the aisle, there's opportunities for immersive experience in the aisle. I'm speaking to some brands with virtual aisle takeovers of where you could like scan and it comes to life with experiences. At the point of sale, also within loyalty programs, within the e-com app, environment, within social media channels, and even like email and SMS. So as a marketing consultant, when I kind of advise brands where to start or where to integrate their AR marketing, this picture makes me so excited because it is clear to see where you could start bringing omnichannel experiences. So this brings me to strategy. So I would like to share with you the strategy that I've been working with Google. So essentially, it is based on solid research by the Boston Consulting Group. It has got to do with seeding the idea of digital maturity. So what that means is a brand's ability to adopt technology, having access to the right skills and resources, and being able to align their processes for the organization to support the new tech, right? And essentially, the process is very simple. So we go in and we assess a brand's digital maturity level, give it a score. Then we kind of try to articulate what is the brand's vision, right? Their North Star. Where do they want to end up from a digital perspective? And then we work out a very practical roadmap on how to get there. What is the investments they need to make? So we've kind of used that as a way to kind of tweak it towards XR maturity, right? So there are 4 key drivers from the BCG research: first-party data, end-to-end measurement, specialist skills, and agility. And I can tell you now, this strategy works. We've been doing this in South Africa with multiple brands. So first-party data essentially means what is the brand's ability to collect consented first-party data, able to connect it to other data sets, able to segment it into audience personas, and able to activate it in your advertising channels, right? So all of that in an automated process, right? That's quite a big ask for a lot of brands to do. Then end-to-end measurement. Now, that is basically having the right tech in place to connect data sets and kind of like technical ways how brands do it is kind of put the Facebook conversion API and TikTok conversion API and connecting your CRM and offline sales into Google. And that way, you're able to see the investment you're doing in your advertising to actual leads and sales and revenue. And the third one is specialist skills. So brands start realizing that they need access to specialist skills and resources, right? Especially now in the age of AI for marketing, and especially looking at XR, right? You simply need specialist skills. Now, some brands start off with making strategic partnerships with AR studios, with 3D developers, with graphic artists that are skilled in there. And then they can choose over a period of time, do they want to bring that skills in-house, or do they want to end up in a hybrid situation of where they get the best of both worlds, right? Then the fourth one is my favorite, agility, right? This, for me, is the organizational driver to adopt the tech, to adopt everything that you put in place from a maturity perspective. And Agility means having a solid test and learn approach, that you need to be able to understand what is it what you learn with the new technology, what you want to learn with XR and marketing, having designing tests and understanding how you want to measure it. And then even if you fail, you are still learning something, but at least you will have forward momentum. You constantly innovate and you're agile and you have a level of agility, right? So these four are key drivers that we've seen work with brands in South Africa. Now, like I mentioned, the kind of starting point is to do an assessment. So typically, we then, through a series of interview questions, we understand what is the brand's adoption of the tech, XR tools, what's the adoption of AI, the adoption of skills, etc., and the use of first-party data. And then we kind of give it a score, and you can see that the curve starts at nascent, very much at the bottom, lots to learn still, emerging, connected, and multi-moment is where many brands want to be. And then you can see in this kind of example of the graph, the headroom, right? And the headroom is the opportunity for brands to do what is next. So this kind of gives a very clear way to actually roadmap this, right? So we actually then say, well, what is the short, medium, and long-term investments the brand need to do in tech, so XR tech, and the people and skills that they need to source and cross-skill and upskill, and the processes to support all of this. And then this becomes something that the teams can actually monitor and use, typically in a quarter-by-quarter basis, and it's a living roadmap, meaning that things change, right? And so that you can actually adjust and be agile within this roadmap. So with that, let me show you the activation part. So this is two South African retail brands that have activated their XR strategy quite successfully. The first one is the Shoprite Group. So they're one of the largest retailers in South Africa and sub-Saharan Africa. So quite staggering stats. So you've got about 30 million shoppers each week. They almost like 3,000 stores just within South Africa. They launched a few years ago their loyalty program called Extra Savings. It is the country's largest rewards program with about 30 million members. And the part that astounds me is that that card is being swiped 2,500 times a minute, right? And what that means is this brand sits on so much data, so much consumer behavior data that they're able to segment and analyze, right? So they know what I buy on a daily, weekly, and a monthly basis. What brands am I loyal to? Am I open to try different brands if there's a promotion? What is the upsell and cross-sell opportunities? So they really have a lot of data. So what have they done? They created their own in-house retail media agency to mine this data. So it's called Rainmaker Media. And essentially, it uses all the data being produced by the Shoprite group of companies, and then they connect South African brands to South African shoppers, about 80% of shoppers, all the way to the sale that they could measure, making it a super powerful and super targeted advertising channel for brands. To quote their MD, to basically saying that they've been able to simplify the management of omnichannel retail campaigns in order to focus on what truly matters, and that is to connect the customer with the customer in a more relevant way. So again, looping back to that vision of what's the future of retail and marketing, what it could mean, right? So they started very much with a rudimentary test and learn approach. Again, one of those four key drivers I've mentioned for maturity. This is a very kind of simplistic ad, right? It was on social media. They ran it against a standard ad creative. In this case, it was for a nutritional drink for children, and very much the characters on the packaging coming to life in your own environment. So I would say, it's a simplistic campaign, right? But they compared it against the kind of measures of the platform, right, against the standard creative, and they saw 70% increase in user response. So they can indicate it to them that they are on the right track, right? The next kind of campaign I did, again, this is for deodorant, right? But the strategy behind this was sound. They wanted to use all the data that they have, right, and see which segment does it make sense to add this kind of augmented reality experience to. And they decided to target their lapsed customers, to reactivate customers that hasn't shopped this particular product for a while from this brand. So apart from the upper funnel metrics from the platforms, high click-through rate, etc., the piece of data that is so reaffirming really is that they were able to activate 20% of the lapsed customer base. And that essentially meant, I would say, like ROI, return on investment, of almost 300%, just by targeting the right customer segment to this particular more immersive ad. And like I said, it wasn't a rocket science ad, right? The next one that they kind of went a bit deeper and deeper is creating an integrated AR strategy. So this is for a product called Simply Chicken. It is frozen chicken nuggets. This particular one was the launch of their dinosaur-themed product. So the moment I say dinosaurs, I say AR, right? So what they've done was curated a journey in-store with the in-store media that you can scan and come to life with a surprise and delight experience. And you can also access it via social channels to kind of have this 3D dino experience and a bit of an AR game. But the point I want to make here as well is it was multi-agency collaboration, right? So they understood that they had to pull in resources from different specialist skills. And this was also their web AR pilot, actually using Zappar web AR for their pilot. Now, they knew that they were on the right path. This particular campaign won a few awards for for marketing strategy. So they knew that they're onto something. But taking a step back, what's some of the takeouts we could take from this use case, right? And if we're looking at this 4 accelerators, they have a solid first-party data strategy that they're able to segment and activate different customer segments. They have end-to-end measurement in place so that you could track the performance of advertising all the way to sale and revenue. They definitely have specialist skills and resources in terms of the collaboration that they have with partners, and agility. They have a solid test and learn framework, solid test and learn agenda in place so that they could always innovate and try something different and new. Awesome. So let's go to the second use case. So this one is RCL Foods. So you would like to think, why would a food kind of group create a game called Wild Space? So they entered the world of gaming and collectibles. So what that means is they're inviting the kid to be part of the parent's shopping experience, right? So while they're in the trolley, you can, with the app, you scan any kind of QR code, any kind of barcode on the product, and you earn points along the way that you could use in the game and unlock collectibles, right? Character sets. It's also quite they call it like a shop-to-play model. Then there's also kind of a way for this brands to come in live in this gaming world, right? So what they've done is like 2 of their first executions earlier this year of, well-known South African brands. You won't know them, but I do. Like the left-hand side one is Oma Rusks, right? So it's kind of like a rusk you dip in coffee. So, and they kind of created this kind of very kind of fun 3D characters that comes to life in the game. And of course, the question was, how fun would this be in augmented reality, right? So that's what they did. So what they did, they started off with point-of-sale advertising on the receipt. This was targeted advertising, meaning not everybody got this promotion on the back of their till slip. You had to have a certain spend limit, and then you kind of get access to this campaign. When you scan the QR code, it takes you to a surprise and delight experience of seeing this kind of 3D characters come to life, and then the call to action is to download the game, right? But then, because they've got very fast innovation cycles, they had to iterate, and they wanted to expand the Wild Space ecosystem to focus on building consented first-party data, right? One of those kind of building blocks I mentioned. So enter Halo. Now, Halo is also a Cape Town-based kind of web-based app, which kind of provides brands with gamified content, and it rewards consumers with for completing tasks. So what the team has done is create an AR experience rewards journey, right? So when you access the Halo app, looking at the left, it asks you to kind of go through tasks, right? So learn more about the WildSpace app, then download the WildSpace app, and you can actually earn points for each of these tasks. Then you get to claim the rewards. So you can actually then say, I want to enter a competition to win a PlayStation, or I can unlock an AR experience, which is a collectible, and then actually changing and enhancing that user journey from the till slip to actually creating a rewards journey for the consumer. So what are some of the key takeouts for RCL Foods? So if we're looking at those 4 accelerators that I mentioned, they realize that they have to start putting a first-party data strategy in place, and with that, end-to-end measurement. From the beginning, they realized they need to have specialist skills and partners to access to help build them the gaming experience, to help build them this gamified experience, to build the AR experience, right? And then very lastly is that agility. They have fast innovation cycles, constantly test and learn and iterate. And again, like I say, ticking the boxes for that accelerators for digital maturity. So coming to the end, what is next, I would say, for immersive marketing? If we take a step back and we look at the kind of global advertising landscape for 3D and AR, recent report kind of shows that mobile AR revenue is set to double in size in the next 5 years. So this is a fact that marketers cannot ignore, right? They have to start investing and start learning what immersive marketing means for them. Also, I'm going to say that we're going to see an explosion of 3D digital marketing. And what that means is brands and advertisers and agencies going to find innovative ways of bringing 3D digital marketing into the entire customer funnel, right? So all the way from AR ads to AR and 3D experiences embedded in websites to loyalty programs. This particular example is from our friends at Zappar, of where they platform allows you to embed a 3D and an AR experience into a website, into a product page. So in this kind of example, you can see you could learn more about the bike that you're about to buy, and thereby boosting consumer confidence in the product, right? Then, of course, we saw recently the announcement between Roblox and Shopify to bring in e-commerce into an immersive metaverse experience, right? Thereby, again, kind of ticking the box of shortening and innovating that path to purchase and making it easier for the consumer. And then last one, and again, it's always my favorite, is innovation, right? Innovation at top speed. So in the video you can see on LinkedIn, ShopRite X is the innovation arm of the ShopRite group. They got their hands on Apple Vision Pro, which is not available in South Africa, but they wanted to play around with it. They wanted to visualize what does it mean for them as a retailer? What is the next step for them that they could innovate the shopping experience for their 30 million shoppers, right? So, and this is quite very progressive for the brand. So the key takeout for me here is that brands that constantly test and learn, right, they will continue to be agile and be ahead of the pack. So to end off, my challenge for everybody, brands, agencies, marketers in the room, is to use the fundamentals of that digital maturity framework, right? Like I mentioned, I've worked with over 60 plus brands with Google, and it works. It helps you to accelerate where you want to be using a methodical framework, and then to constantly innovate, right? Underpin what you're doing with a solid test and learn approach. And with that, I would like to thank you for your time. Thank you so much. Thank you.